Another week, another massive amount of AI and tech news. This might be the craziest week ever in the history of AI and tech. You're not going to want to miss this, so let's jump right into the video. So the first thing that is massive news this week is that Sora just got released. Sora is the brand new video model from OpenAI. They've been teasing this since February of this year, so it's been 10 months in the making. It's finally out right now. Anyone with a ChatGPT Pro or Plus account can use it. So it looks like you can get 50 generations per month with the Plus account, and you can get up to 500 fast generations with a Pro account. So this is $20 a month for 50 and $200 a month for 500 videos. I know that right now it's restricted in the EU and the UK, so only US users and other countries outside of Europe and the UK can use it right now. They have their own issues there with privacy and things like that, so they're not letting you use the model, but you can go to Sora.com and you can start using it right away. So I know as of right now, it's really hard. I'm filming this on December 9th, and account creation is currently unavailable. So it goes on and off. I was able to create an account earlier today, and so I've been able to do some generations here. I'll have a whole other video on Sora I'm already going to be releasing. It should either be released or will be coming out soon. I'm detailing how it works and some of the really cool stuff it does. But this is massive, massive news. And of course, our friend Pliny, the Liberator, has already liberated it. And you can see here he has his meth kitten that he's created. So he's got a bunch of other videos that he's done here. So this guy just never ceases to impress me. The fact that he's already jailbroken the brand new Sora video model and now has it doing crazy things like this, just absolutely mind-blowing. So congrats to Pliny. I don't know how he keeps doing this, but that is the big news out of AI right now. The biggest news this week by far. Sora just got released, and that was just a few hours ago today. The other big piece of news that happened today as well is Grok, actually the XAI platform, just released a new image generator. And this one is actually really, really impressive. So they're calling this Aurora, and Aurora is an autoregressive mixture of experts network trained to predict the next token for interleaved text and image data. So that is a mouthful, but basically it's just a really, really good new image generator. So Optimus wearing an Xmas costume, generate creative logo for Grok. So they do text really well. They do hyper realistic images really, really well. Some images like this, like a cherry blossom, just beautiful, an origami Cybertruck. So everything it does, super impressive. Jackie Chan in Donald Trump's hairstyle. I love that. So, I mean, I'm really impressed. I think it's really, really cool. I've actually been scaling back. So I used Midjourney forever. I still think Midjourney is the best for a lot of different like cinematic style images. But I mean, if you want something that's kind of raw and will allow you to do stuff like Disney images and things like that, you can't go wrong with Grok. And this new image generator, it just looks really, really good. So basically you just go to x.com. So just come here to X, go to Grok, and just ask it to generate an image for you. So a robot in a flower field, generate an image, and it'll just do it for you. And it does it pretty fast, actually. And then you can edit these as well as needed. So you can see these are generating right now. And we have our robots in the flower field. And this is using the new image processor. So pretty good and pretty cool. So good to see people over at XAI innovating some awesome stuff here. So the next big piece of huge news. So I don't know if you've been following this necessarily tech related, but I'm going to get into why this has some tech implications. But basically they found the suspect that is now in custody for the unaliving of the CEO of this major healthcare company that happened last week. So if you hadn't heard about that, it was really big news. Very bold, blatant thing that happened in the middle of the street in New York City. There's video of it. Apparently it's this guy. I guess the correct word would be person of interest. So this is the person of interest in this case. He was brought in for questioning. So apparently he's an Ivy League grad with degrees in computer science. He's an avid reader and contributor on GitHub. Apparently he has an IQ of 130. And then he took off his mask to flirt with a Starbucks employee. He went to go unalive this CEO of the healthcare company. Then he goes to a McDonald's, brings the weapon, brings a fake ID and a written manifesto, and then sits down at a McDonald's. He's then identified, brings his laptop, and then gets arrested and basically goes to jail and is now sort of being questioned for this crime. So very, very interesting. He has a public profile on X, by the way. Earlier today, I think it only had a few hundred followers. Now he's got 221,000 followers. That's just how X works. You can see that his profile here is now blowing up. Obviously, probably millions of views today. Super weird. Like he's got this weird cartoon here. I guess he had back surgery. People are saying that like his back surgery might have affected him mentally in some way, and apparently was living in Hawaii. And I guess came into town to do this. So some really, really weird news here. Apparently he was also a tech major and he had a GitHub. So he has a link tree here. Actually, I don't see any links here on the link tree. I don't know if they scrubbed scrubbed this already. I'm not sure. And then the other weird thing is apparently he created a YouTube video and published that as well. I'm not going to show you that here because I don't know if that's real or not, but a lot of weird stuff here. But apparently he was a big tech guy. And yeah, a lot of this is really, really strange. This is kind of like an unfolding thing. I just wanted to bring this to you. This has been all over X and I thought it was really interesting. So the next big piece of tech news is that Google announced they have a new quantum chip called Willow. And apparently this chip, so I went to the blog post. This is Google's CEO releasing it here on X. I went to the blog post. It's pretty unbelievable when you read this. This is so much faster than any other computer on the market today that it is 10 septillion years faster than today's fastest computer. So 10 septillion years is like a lot of years. I mean, that's many, 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 many years. I don't know how many zeros that is, but that's a lot of years. So yeah, apparently this is a big deal, a big leap forward in the world of quantum computing. So very, very cool to see that. You can actually see here that Elon Musk, replied here basically saying, wow. And they had a little discussion here with Sundar and Elon. Very cool to see this. This is one of the things you only see on X. That's why I love X so much. And they go on to talk about they should do a quantum cluster in space. And they have a nice little conversation here. So really, really cool stuff. Now, the other thing that came out of this is the people in the Bitcoin community are now thinking that with this major jump in quantum computing that Google unveiled today, that potentially this could threaten the security of Bitcoin's algorithm. So Bitcoin's algorithm is an SHA algorithm, and it is known that eventually quantum computing should be able to crack this algorithm. And so you had posts like this coming out, well, Bitcoin is dead, fun while it lasted, all of your passwords too. So, Bitcoin's been going to zero for many, many years now. People have been saying that since it came out 15 years ago, but this is an interesting take and an interesting point that quantum computing could have an effect on this until you look into this a little bit more. So Willow has 105 qubits. To crack Bitcoin, you need 200 to 400 million qubits. It can also be forked anytime and upgraded. And so you can see that realistically, back in 2019, they had a 53 qubit chip and this is 105. So yes, this is a big step forward. However, realistically to start cracking these, it's going to take a lot more. And you also have to think every major, bank, every major e-commerce store, everything in the world today, SSL, like these SSL certificates on websites, they all use this SSH encryption, right? Or SHA encryption. So in other words, everything would be at risk once this quantum computing comes out, not just Bitcoin, basically all of the encryption in the world would be at risk. So Bitcoin can be forked at any time to solve that issue. And so you'd imagine that all these big banks are already working on stuff like that too. The world will become quantum proof in the future as that technology gets there. And people are saying we're about 5, 10, maybe 15 years away from that. So very interesting to see that. And actually the Bitcoin chart reacted really badly to this news. It actually crashed really bad. It recovered a little bit, but it did have a pretty big crash right after that news came out. So I'll just load up that chart real quick here. And yeah, you can see that basically that chart or that news came out and Bitcoin immediately, we just come down here to like a 10-minute chart. You can see it crashed pretty badly. These candles right here went from basically 100 grand all the way down to 94 grand after that news came out. So people were definitely worried about this, part of like the FUD campaign, let's say, because it turns out to not really have that much teeth to it, but very interesting that came out. Big news in the quantum world. So the other big news that came out this week is that OpenAI also dropped their O1 and O1 Pro model. So O1 is an upgrade from their O1 preview that they've had out for some time now. And then O1 Pro is the sort of upgraded version of O1. And if you spend that $200 a month, you'll have access to this. So people are saying that it's better at coding. I haven't actually had too much time to explore this myself, but apparently it's, some people are saying it's better at coding, that it's doing some really cool research here. So, getting into 16-word and 4-word grouping research here. So a lot of the stuff that we've seen before from other models, but doing a really, really good job of that, coding this game here that, looks pretty complex, coded out, and doing some other really cool stuff. So this is a big deal. They've been working on this model for a very, very long time, and it sort of shows where we're going with AI and how much better this is going to get. So I'm going to dive into this more, definitely with coding, and I'll probably make a video on that as well, where I use O1 to do some coding, and hopefully tie that into Cursor once that's ready also. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment for anything you found interesting as well.